Hello, it's been a really exciting time here at our school for the past few months. We're in the midst of a program to implement iPads in the classroom and using grade 11 students to work with teachers. This project began last year when our board, the Upper Canada District School Board, and Apple Canada met to discuss how we could integrate iPads into the classroom. Our school was one of the schools chosen, and our board provided a set of iPads for a class, as well as allowed one section to be taught in the fall of 2014-2015. My principal, Mr. John Gow, and I met in the spring to discuss how we wanted to use the iPads in the section. He was able to find some funds to increase the iPads so that we had enough for two sections of classes at our school. We then decided that what we wanted to do is to offer a course to grade 11 students who were leaders in the building that would work with both our grade 9 students and grade 9 teachers. I then set about creating a course. We call it iCoach here at PDCI. This course is a grade 12 university interdisciplinary studies course. We started this September and it has been a real learning curve, but boy has it been a great adventure. The students that I teach, or I refer to them as iCoaches, have been working closely with our grade 9 teachers. These students have been working with the teachers to come up with creative ways to use the iPads in their classroom and still meet the curriculum objectives that the teachers are looking for. This video is designed to capture our thoughts after 3 months into the program. You'll hear from the teachers as well as the students that have been working with our iCoaches.
We've had an interesting experience with the iCoaches and the iPads thus far. The class that they came into, in my case, is an applied geography class, grade 9 applied. And what I found most of all with the iPads is that it's the learning abilities within an applied class really vary, all different abilities, different exceptionalities. And the iPads have really put everyone on the same level in some ways. So some students that might have trouble with pen and paper exercises have risen, and they've done some pretty amazing things on the iPads. It really surprised me at how capable they are in some activities. So that's probably the biggest impact that the iPads have had is putting everyone on a more level playing level with regards to learning. My favorite iCoach activity would probably be our latest activity with the Puppet Pals. The students enjoyed the verbal aspect of that and the video aspect, and creating characters to be speakers in their place. Some of these students aren't very comfortable standing up and doing presentations, so it's difficult to understand what kind of learning is taking place. So the Puppet Pals has really allowed them to speak into a microphone and be hidden but express their learning. Working with the iCoaches has been good. I've worked with a lot of senior students. I think the thing with the iCoaches so far is it's really shown them what an applied class is all about, and it's shown them that there are some different learning styles, and that there are a lot of exceptionalities in the school. I think that perhaps they didn't understand all the different learning situations that take place in an applied class. So it's really opened up the applied classes for them to see what kind of students we have here in the building. So I think it's been a neat experience for them.
Having the iPads and the iCoaches in our class is awesome.
Yeah, it's impacted our learning a lot because we get to do more hands-on, and some people learn better that way instead of staring at a chalkboard all day, listening to the teacher.
Yeah.
The favorite things about the iCoach is how we get to leave our classroom. One of them, the QR code scavenger hunt, they put a bunch of codes around the school. We had a certain app, I can't remember the name
it was
of it.
QR code?
Yeah, QR code. And we just went around the school, and it was fun because we just get to leave our classroom and we had to look up some research on certain national parks.
Each of the QR codes had a province on it, and when you scan them, you could find out what you could about that. And
So like the size of it and
yeah,
the national animals.
a few other things that we liked was Google Maps, because you could look in like Ottawa and see from Street View and look at all the sightings and everything.
Yeah, helped though. And another thing was the Nearpod quiz. How we got to go on the iPads and actually do the quiz instead of writing with pen and pencil. Yeah, just found it a lot more fun. And some of the Discover experience, it was just a lot of fun getting to socialize with the older kids.
iCoaches, they helped you a lot.
Yeah, they were, instead of just one person in there was
There was
the
like
teacher
two.
and then the teacher. So your questions got answered a lot quicker.
It was really neat to have the iPads come into the class. It's always interesting to watch how you can take traditional media, paint, even paper and pencil, and supplement it, and augment it with the iPads. And that's exactly what the iPads were able to do in our class, especially when it came to painting. Painting has a lot of setup, a lot of cleanup, and it has a lot of leadway into basic theory. And the iPad was able to jump us through and get us right focused in on what was important, and exploring not just color theory, but a lot of the new apps like brushes allow you to does a really good job of mimicking how traditional paint works, and give the kids a little bit of a heads up on what to expect when they actually start using real paint. That allowed them to become quicker. It gave them more confidence when they started handling a real brush with real paint, and it also made them more efficient in the use of their paint. I saw a lot less paint literally going down the drain, and that's always a good thing, not just for the economy, but the environment. Mr. Anderson agrees on geography. So that was the big thing about the iPads in the art class. It was able to honestly supplement and augment the learning of the traditional media. It doesn't replace it. It actually just makes the students more efficient at learning it. And it also opened up a lot more views to me. It allowed me to expand my abilities a little bit. I was able to actually improve on some of the traditional media I was using by seeing how the apps worked, and it sort of pointed me in directions of things that I never really thought of before. So it pushes you in new directions. So even for the traditional artist, it's a way to, instead of just doing another painting, another sculpture or something, it really pushes you in new directions. So when you go back to the traditional media, you get a lot better results. Favorite activity, I think I mentioned it, was probably the brushes app. I never found a single app that I really found did the best in everything. It's really a question of going out, finding an app to do this thing, going over, finding an app for another purpose. But when it came to actually comparing it to traditional media, the brushes app, as I was explaining, was the way to go. It blends paints in a really great way, and it does it in a clean manner. So it was really cool. It was really fun working with the iCoach kids. Like you mentioned, I think they got a lot out of it. You can see it. I was amazed at how fast they turned into teacher and went into teacher speak in a matter of minutes. And I thought I know they got a lot of it of seeing it from the teacher's point of view in the classroom. But it also obviously has benefits for the students in the class. The students are able to relate to the iCoach students in a much different way than they do to the teacher. Some kids who may be a little bit hesitant or a little bit more reserved around a regular teacher open up to the students because they're more peer-like, and the students are able to pick up on cues from the students that I was missing. So my teaching improved in that respect by watching students teach students. Also, the iCoach kids taught me a lot. I'm a lot more versed with the iPad. I became aware of apps that I wasn't even aware of before. So it was neat having people go out and do the research for you, and it was a big time saver.
I think it was really interesting having the iPads and the iCoach program in the classroom because it introduced new ways of creating art and not just the old way on pieces of paper, created a modern twist to it.
It was really cool to see the differences in how you could make the same thing using the iPad or just with the pencil, but the many different ways you could do it.
It was really cool finding and comparing each of the apps that we used for drawing.
So we got to use the green screening app for an art history project, and we could put the image that we were talking about behind us while we were talking about it, and it was really cool because I had never used that before, and it was fun to put all the different layers together.
Another project that we did was we made a color wheel on an app called ArtSet, and it was neat because usually you just have to make a color wheel on paper, but it's much easier if you make it on an app, and it takes a lot less time.
It was great having the iCoach people come in because they knew a lot of stuff and could teach us about the iPads.
The grade 11s in our classroom doing the iCoach program was really neat because they could answer pretty much any question that we had, and they were really helpful and patient with us.
They're like really fun and funny, so like it was just interesting hanging out with them and fun to hang out with them, and they could help us with the stuff. So.
Hi, I'm Hula Strawn. This semester I taught the grade 9 academic math class here at PDCI. I was quite excited to be a part of the iPad project this semester, both for myself and for my students. It's been quite a learning experience for me as a teacher, and I find that my teaching methods have improved over the course of the last few months. My students embraced the technology quite happily as they were always engaged and focused in the activities or the apps that were introduced. It just provided them with a creative alternative to demonstrate their learning and their understanding. This semester, my students have tried a number of different apps. We introduced Nearpod, Explain Everything, Desmos, and I suppose my favorite activity has been Explain Everything, where the students were able to demonstrate their understanding and their learning of exponent laws without using traditional pencil and paper methods. The iCoaches, I can't speak highly enough about them. The enthusiasm that they've brought to the classroom has been very refreshing. Their knowledge of the apps has certainly enhanced my program.
We think that the iPads have really affected our learning by you get lots of choice, and there's so many different apps that you can use that you're not just limited to what you could maybe do if you just had pen and paper. And you have so many different choices that you don't have to necessarily just do one thing.
I liked using the iPad because it was a break from our normal routine. So we could hear other voices or we can use other apps instead of just the smartboard or paper.
Why I like the iPads is because I think today's generation is very technological, and they do have to be on their phones a lot. And this is an easy way for them to get involved because they're using something that they're familiar with. While using the iPads, we were exposed to a lot of various apps that were very interesting in my opinion. One of them being Explain Everything, where we did a project on exponent laws. This allowed all of us to be creative and let us explain how we learned exponent laws in our own way.
For Comic Life, we did a little bit about slope, so I really liked doing it because we were able to be creative and show what we knew about slope and try different things by using it. And for the QR code, we went around the school to do a scavenger hunt, and we did little equations. So we were given one and we'd have to solve it and then take a picture, and it would lead us to our next place we had to go to find the other one.
I also really liked Explain Everything, which was an exponent laws assignment. You could be really creative and explain how you think that it all worked, and really just tell Mr. On about your knowledge. You could also record your voice so you could talk through it. I also liked Desmos, which was plotting coordinates. We had to plot coordinates so that when they were connected, wrote out our name. It was a fun exercise, and it's a lot easier than having to write it on a grid. This year we had grade 11s as iCoaches. They were in the class to help us, and they seemed a lot more approachable than if adults were helping us because they understand our viewpoint, and I didn't feel so nervous asking them questions that I may have been scared to if it was an adult.
I really liked having the grade 11s as their iCoaches because they've been through a high school not too long ago, in grade 9, so they were able to help us with things and have
experience like we're right now.
I think I have to agree with Bronwyn because I think talking to someone that is very close to my age is a lot more comforting, and I feel that I can address more problems with them than I would with, say, an adult, just because I feel safer and secure and maybe they would understand a bit better.
My introduction to the iPads this year has been a learning experience for me as well. The iCoach program has made it very easy for myself and for my students to pick up the technology and apply it in their classrooms. Basically what I've done is given the iCoaches the information, the curriculum that I want to teach, and they've come back to me and suggested some activities that they thought might work, which has turned out quite well. I think we've used quite a few apps as well. We've used Erasmus, we've used Explain Everything, we've used Book Creator. Much like Lewis said, I think our best activity, or my favorite activity, was the Explain Everything. We did the class presentations for alternative energy sources, and the kids really enjoyed it. It allowed them to be as creative as they wanted to be, and do a presentation in front of the class with very, very little anxiety or stress, and they really seem to enjoy it.
The iPads have impacted my learning because it's really better to learn on the iPad. You can visualize it instead of writing it down on a piece of paper, and you actually can see what you're doing.
I like it because you can actually do it. They will give you apps and stuff, and you can actually see how it works, and you can actually make it and do it.
My favorite iCoach activity was the book creator because I like doing the presentations that way instead of on the PowerPoint because it's a new way to do it.
I liked doing the Explain Everything because you could add pictures and videos and YouTube videos, and it worked a lot better than PowerPoint, and it was kind of cool presenting it. And I liked an app that you could add protons and electrons and make your own trons things.
My experience with the senior iCoach helpers was they're really nice and they really explained everything and I got the concepts.
Yeah, I found that they explained it and they did a really good job actually teaching it, and we could do it ourselves and we could explain it. I know that my best marks are all on the projects and stuff because I know lab reports and stuff I don't get very good marks on, but I know that the iPad projects I get my best marks, and they really boost my mark.
Because they're more engaging and they're more fun. You actually want to do the work instead of just holding it off for later.
And I know that I'm pretty involved in stuff in sports and stuff, so when I miss a day I can always catch up on it and it's easy.
Good afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure having our iCoach project here, Nancy. It's been incredibly successful. It's gone in some directions we had not anticipated, and yet all extremely positive. I've been absolutely overwhelmed with the student engagement in the grade 9 classrooms. What's really nice about this project is it's gone beyond that hook, and it's gone beyond that engagement piece. The really nice part about this is it's really improved the richness of the students' learning. And when I look at speaking of learning, when I look at the learning that the iCoaches or the grade 11 students have been going through, I'm absolutely overwhelmed with what they've been able to learn in terms of their leadership skills, in addition to their abilities to work with others. And so that has been really another interesting dimension. And I don't know, but Nancy, I know when we're in our after-school workshops, it's pretty cool, folks, that we have after-school workshops. We've had 12 after-school workshops in the month of December. And what's really cool about this is us as teachers are learning with our students, so that in that co-learning model. But what's also interesting is that model's been flipped as we're actually learning from students. And so this is the kind of stuff that has led to the iPad conference that we're hosting on January 7th.
I'd like to build on that. The energy that's been created with our staff as well as our students through the iCoach project has been outstanding. When you walk into a classroom and you see the student working with the whole class as well as with the teacher, helping to learn a new piece of technology, it's pretty exciting. You see the energy of the students, you see the energy of the teachers, and there's a buzz that goes throughout the room. Those after-school sessions that we've been having, I saw the same energy that I saw in the classroom with a group of teachers. as they're excitedly learning about how to use this technology to help increase student engagement.
It's been incredible, and I think that the learning on behalf of our grade 9, learning of our grade 9 students, the learning that's been happening with our grade 11 students in the IDC courses, you know what, we have to really give a lot of credit to Eli Funston. He's been our iCoach leader, and not only does he arrive in terms of into this project with a huge amount of technological and software experience, but he has a real passion for using this to really improve students' learning. And so his leadership skills and working with not only with the IDC students in grade 11, but also transferring that leadership to what happens in our grade 9 classrooms, and from there also what happens to our staff as a whole, has been really, really powerful. When you watch these students leading sessions at our staff meetings, you know, when you watch the learning going on from the adults right through the grade 9 students, it's been really powerful.
Absolutely. And this has gone, as you said, beyond anywhere that we ever imagined. So when this was first originated, it was to really take a look at, you know, how might technology increase student engagement. Well, now we're seeing it. The idea has come to life, and that really has to do with not only the leadership of Eli, but also his passion and his willingness to learn with the students and to provide that energy with them so that they can go out with our staff and students and really learn alongside.